So let's go. Let's get it. We're doing ultimate Vel'Koz tier list. We're doing 3 Vel'Koz tier lists, 2 for support, 1 synergy, 1 difficulty, 1 mid lane difficulty. All of these are available on Patreon, basically, in an updated version all the fucking time. In fact, we're going to be doing modifications on 2 Patreon tier lists, on mid lane and support, and the support synergy we're doing from scratch. So, because every next patch I'll do like an update and like a different kind of tier list, whatever is most useful in the time. So your suggestions are great. So let's fucking go. Let's do support tier list. So this is support synergy tier list. Here we're doing like what works with what, you know. So if you're supporting as Vel'Koz, we want to see what AD carries all right. How deep are we gonna go into this? I mean, I'll do even some AP carries, which you rarely see, I guess, on AD carry, right? People chat. God damn it. You guys suck. Okay, so Anivia. Anivia is kind of the first. We see that very rarely. If you support Anivia, you guys have really good synergy. You have really good base damage, both of you. Can push all right, but in a lot of matchups, you're going to get fucked. But the synergy between the two is pretty solid, I would say. The synergy between Vel'Koz and Anivia is really, really good. So that's what we're classifying here. That's what matters, right? The synergy with Aphelios, let's say, is pretty terrible. Like Aphelios is kind of garbage synergy. The only synergy that makes it not these, that they have a bit of long range, both of you. So Vel'Koz and Aphelios can, if you're pushing, you can poke. That's all right. His root is very rare because he has to have a specific weapon to set you up. It's pretty bad. Ashe synergy goes to the S. Long range poke. Incredible vision on the side due to the Hawk shot, and she's a good hyper carry while also having engaged CC. So she has it all. She has it all. What's up, Kim? How you doing? Any simpers? Don't think anyone plays Brand AP carry. Caitlyn's all right. Push, high pressure. You have trap synergy, which is really good because it's zoning. That's the same thing Vel'Koz does basically. Pretty high range. I would say Caitlyn falls in the A category. Okay, let's go next. Do we want Cassio? Does anyone play Cassio AP carry? Does anyone play that shit? It's pretty bad synergy, either way. It's really, really bad. Nobody plays that. I think I played with it once, bot lane. I'm wondering if it's C or D. It's really bad synergy. If she lands the stun, she's gonna kill anyway herself, so the setup is pointless. Yeah, you have no synergy whatsoever. Grounding is bad, no engage, nothing. Low range, pretty shit. Corki has a bit of poke, so he's not terrible. Draven can engage with a W and E. You have long range ult. He's C to B, honestly. I wouldn't really classify him with Aphelios in this. He's definitely better than Corki. He's around Aphelios, I think, right? Plus, you as like... Okay, so you take his kills very often. As Draven, you want to get kills. But Vel'Koz will take his kills very often, so... Not the greatest of synergies, yeah? Ezreal's alright, but he's mid. Ezreal's mid. It's perfectly balanced. Because a good Ezreal will skew it in one way, a bad one will be absolutely fucking useless. So you're just babysitting while he's farming. There are some synergies, but not incredibly too many, right? So that is the support synergy. What else? What else do we got? People play Heimer AP carry. Heimer has some synergies with Vel'Koz. Do people play him? I haven't seen him in a really long time. We're going to, like, alphabetically, guys, so shut up. We'll get to your champion. If you have any specific questions about this, lay it on me. You know? Heimer. Can push, he can engage with his RE, that's really good. His RE engage is pretty sick. I'd say he's about A tier there. Although, like, synergies with AP carries will usually be good. Usually be good. Most of them will be totally fine. Jhin, S synergy. WR, long range. It depends on the skill, so it's less than Ashe, I would say, because Ashe requires a bit less skill to be pulled off. But yeah, that's a really good synergy. We got Jinx. I like long range W, long range R. And you have the Chompers. Jinx is not as terrible as you would think for like a late game hyper carry. I'd put her at B. She's not quite like this level. Kai'Sa synergy probably falls around B. Pretty much same reason. Like one long range poke, one engage, decent targeted damage. Kalista synergy. They have negative synergy. Kalista can ult you out of your ult if she's bad. You don't really engage. It's all like if you're with a duo Kalista and you can kind of communicate when she wants to ult you. It's not terrible. Other than that, you have like no synergies. So she's better than Cassio if you play perfectly. Like presuming you play perfectly, like ult is not bad and you can like put her at C, but let's put her at top D, I guess. Because it's solo queue. Like if you play like anywhere below diamond, it's just gonna be negative synergy. Pure trash. Karta synergy is alright. W, poke, dancing, you know, you poke them down. It's alright, not much to be said there. Cards does well no matter what. Nearly always. Pretty solid. Let's see what else we got. Lucian. He's a heavy hitter, good punisher. You have good early at least. The early game is good, but he's not like top level synergy for sure. So he's not terrible. Lux is played mostly as support because she's not that good as AP carry. But let's just go over it for the sake of that because you might be playing it reverse. Maybe you'll be AP carry and she will be support. Did I miss Kog'Maw? There you go. Sorry. Where was I? Lux. Okay. So you have synergies with Lux for sure. The poke is incredible and all that. So if you reverse the roles, it's A tier for sure. You have Misfortune. Misfortune is definitely better than this. But I don't know if she falls into A category. She has good poke, good pressure. She's almost never gonna die, so she doesn't require an enchanter or too much intervention to save her. She'll do alright on her own. And you can kind of poke. Listen to me instead, I'm gold 4. True. I'm torn. If she can play really well, like, she would be here at the bottom of this. There's some nuance here, so you're just listening to what I'm saying, so, you know. I'm voicing my opinions as we go. But what else? What else? I don't know if people play Nico AP carry. If they do, she would be around here, yeah? Can I move away, dude? I'm just trying to get the... Kinda in order, I don't fucking know. It's alright, it's not terrible. I'll put Jinx at the bottom of A. She's alright, but then again. Solo queue hyper carry, early game will be... Most matchups you won't really be able to trade early game. So that's a bit of a negative thing for sure. Let us see. If I miss anything, be sure to stop me. I'm trying to go in as deep as possible and catch these characters you will see once in a lifetime. There's not many AD carries, dude, just thinking about it. Samira synergy, she can knock up off of your knock up. She's mostly bad. She waits for execution. You can't really provide the setup and engage. So she's suboptimal for sure. Definitely not enjoying with that. Senna is solid. High range, she can engage, global. She's pretty solid. I feel like we need a tier in between here, I swear. I can put in Senna, Misfortune, Karthus in there. This is wild. Senna can be anywhere. You have really good synergy. Yeah, she depends on the skill for sure. Because bad Senna is useless, but there are synergies to be had. She can slow and set you up. You can get 2 different angles. She goes up like direct approach with the Qs through minions. You go on the side approach. You can zone them. You can do all kinds of stuff. Like if you have good communication, this is insanely good. Okay, I'm gonna put this one in just for the... I know a lot of people play this duo like strategy. Either one who farms doesn't really matter. Like they farm with it, whichever one, honestly, but it has good synergy. Swain, Vel'Koz bot lane is very aggressive, very cheesy, very decent. Okay, we're looking for more AD carry. Seraphine, you have about a synergy with Seraphine. If people play her as AP carry, they do sometimes. It's pretty solid. You have Tristana. Tristana is B tier. Definitely less than Jinx, I would say. Okay, not terrible. We have severe synergies. Kind of mid. You don't really do too much. Didn't I?
Azzapp, are you making the Vel'Koz gets fucked by list? If so, you are doing it wrong. I'm pretty sure 99% of the champs are in the S tier. I am bronze 4, so you can trust my knowledge.
Thank you, Togepi. Thank you for your valuable input. Appreciate 100 bits, man. How you doing, Sammy? Yeah, this is bot lane duo tier list. The synergies. I'd say Sever's here. She's not B. She's not B. The only thing you have is longer range. That's it. The movement speed doesn't really benefit you too much. Okay, finally we get something good. Twitch. Garbage. Twitch garbage. We got Varus. Varus would be S tier. Varus is one of the old school Vel'Koz duos, which works tremendously. Huge range, poke into combo. Like, he can engage as well, not only you. I'd say he's even better than Jhin. Because Jhin, again, the only downside to Jhin is like Jhin requires significantly more skill than these two to be played very well. Vayne, D tier, you're just babysitting her. It's pretty bad. Veigar, as with most mages, you're going to have good synergy. Same with Syndra. We're just speedrunning through a couple of those who are played as AP carries here and there. Some people play Vladimir, bot lane. Elite when he gets autofilled. We shat on bot lane together, but the synergy is pretty bad. So, synergy is pretty bad. Vector is not quite really good with synergy. Neither will set each other up. Like, it's alright. I think Aphelios can be higher. No, Aphelios is... He has high range. That's the only good thing about him. His weapon and the setup is fairly unreliable because he's only one weapon to set you up. And in solo queue, mostly you won't have synergy. Zig synergy is really good. Let's see. Yasuo synergy bot lane is not terrible. You can definitely play with Yasuo. You'll have super weak early. You have to all in like level 2, 3 and hope you get advantage. But mostly it's doable. Xayah synergy is B, I would say. I forgot Silco. Zeri synergy B, because she requires an enchanter. Doesn't really work well with casters. Did I miss anything? Yone would be worse than Yasuo. If you get that autofill Yone bot lane. Oh yeah, Xerath. Xerath would be S tier. Yeah, I remember there was one more S tier. I'm trying to like think who it was. Yeah, Xerath would be S tier. Ivern. Only if it's played by that Intvern on EU West when he plays AP carry bot lane. He plays full AP damage Ivern and we shit on him. I'm 100% win rate with him. It's garbage synergy, but hey. Talia? Nobody plays that shit, man. Nobody plays this champ. Yeah, she's hit or miss. You gotta all in. Yeah, she would be. Nobody plays that shit. There you go. That's the bot lane synergy. Actually, we can expand on this. We can just reverse the roles a little bit and just. Okay, let's think about. Should we make a different tier list? Or just add on to this one, like if you're AP carry and you have a support. I think we just continue on this one, honestly, because it doesn't really matter. It's just interchangeable. Make a different tier list? I mean, a lot of these like wouldn't be here. Because Seraphine can be played as both support. Same with Senna. A lot of these can just be reversed. You know, Xerath, it doesn't really matter if you're AP carry or support. It's just reversed. I mean, it's probably better that Zerd is AP carry. But you can go either way, because Zerd requires money, VELKOZ doesn't. It would be a bit confusing if I started dumping like Alistar and stuff like that, but yeah. I get Zerd is good synergy, but if they stack MR, Zerd is pretty fucked until he gets Void Staff. By the time they get MR stacked, it, like, first of all, they invested way too many resources on that. Like, who cares? VELKOZ does true damage, Zerd will get Void Staff anyway, because you're going pen on Zerd anyway. It's just, it's really good for you either way. Okay, any other questions? What do we got? Okay, I guess we're kind of done with synergies. I mean, nobody plays AP carry. We went for support on purpose because most people play support, for sure. Most people are playing it as support. That's why we're focusing on support with 2 tier lists. So that's the first one. That is the synergy. And we're going to keep this. We're going to keep this as a synergy list with 80 carries. Okay, perfect. Perfect. That's what we got. We're going to go now into support difficulty list, which is... Support difficulty list is, I think, the latest one I made for Patreon. So we're just going to be updating that one. We're just gonna be updating this one in case I missed anything. So this is the support difficulty. We're just gonna go through it and then we're gonna go through the remaining and if we need to change anything, right? So if you're playing versus Pyke, Yuumi, you might have guessed this. Pyke, Rakan, Yuumi. That's exactly how my bans go. Like I would be banning Pyke every game. Unless he's banned, then we're gonna ban Rakan, then Yuumi. So those are the 3 worst champions you will ever meet. So if you're playing support, which a lot of you are, if you see something like this, deviate. Do not play VELKOZ most likely. Unless you're like a really confident. So yeah, you definitely want to avoid here. Against Yuumi, there are some... You play the map. But it's like in the matchup, you're bound to lose. But with the versus her, you're going to play map. So you try to get vision score. Pantheon as support will destroy you. Depends on the matchup, obviously, but he's usually paired up with aggressive characters, because that's why you pick Pantheon. You want to go early aggro, and early VELKOZ is weak, so you suffer. Every W kills you can't ever roll in him, because he's going to shield. Nami counters you naturally, same with Karma. They both, every single ability gives movement speed on Nami. Karma gives movement speed and shield. Nami heals. They barely use mana, so it's pretty difficult to engage on them. Senna is quite elusive. Again, very difficult. She has healing, long range poke, and she scales well. So this is a very difficult matchup. And then you have something like Nautilus, which can be manipulated for sure. If you bait his Q, he can be very squishy and you can burst him. So I was torn here between A and B. Can't go either way, but let's keep it as A in like solo Q. He can be nasty. He can just press ult on you and you can't fight for the next 3-5 seconds. Because she's going to combo you. Bard can be rough. There's nothing inherently like insanely strong about Bard. If he comes close, you can kind of out-trade him. Usually requires a really good player to either roam or outplay you in lane. So Bard is about normal matchup, you know. That's something you would kind of want. These bottom side matchups are all fine, you know. It's you're trying to avoid the ones on the top, obviously. You have Gianna, which now with the buff, Gianna is pretty popular, kind of strong. She has faster tornado, so it's less predictable. Not as easy to punish, but versus enchanters, I feel alright, so we're gonna put her at the bottom of this list, kind of. Lux, if this was mid lane, you'd be hard winning. But in support, Lux is pretty good. Depends on the pairing, obviously, but she has good range on you. She can do stuff. Then we have Thresh. I like this matchup, but a good Thresh can do wonders. We're going to put him at Kana at the bottom. If you get hooked, it's death sentence, as the name would suggest. So you're definitely fucked in that case. He can also protect his AD carry. AD carry can play very aggressive due to the lantern and all that. So that's rough. You have Tahm Kench. We're going to put him around here, I guess. The downside of Tahm Kench is he's very tanky, so poke doesn't do too much. You can never almost burst him due to his shield, and he can eat his AD carry if you're trying to burst him. So we have Soraka. Soraka is not that difficult. It's just that she's very annoying and difficult to kill, you know, difficult to convert into advantage. So in mostly you're going to be roaming and getting heal reduction early. Zeret outranges you. He's very, very nasty. If he plays really well, he can be very, very strong. So much like in mid lane, he counters you, kinda. So then again, you require less resources. So if the lane goes equal, your damage will be scaling very well. And Zeret requires like 2 items to pop off. And so we have Seraphine, which is very annoying. Almost impossible to kill. Very, very rough to deal with. But yeah, nothing about her is just gonna like instantly destroy you. She still requires a gank to and to land a stun and stuff like that. So yeah, all of this is like very playable. A is rough, S is nearly unplayable, B is very, very playable, C is advantage, and D is mega advantage. So that's what we're gonna go into now. C, we have a Nivea bot lane, extremely rare, but she can interrupt you with both wall and Q. So hard to kill. She's got Egg, which is pretty underrated value in the bottom 2v2, because you can play more aggressive, ignite you, die, and then like AD carry will pick you off, right? So she's not the worst, but she's not the, you know, she's all right. You have Braum. You can deal with Braum, but he can be oppressive with his stuns. As long as you avoid the combo, though, you're mostly done. You can shred him through ult. So you're chilling there. Blitzcrank. A lot of people really hate Blitzcrank, but he's just a weaker version of Nautilus, Pike, and Thresh, which are all above him. And if Blitzcrank misses, he's absolutely done. He doesn't really do anything, right? So we don't really care about Blitzcrank that much. He would be above Braum, I would say, right? We have Lulu. That's a good matchup for you in trades. You should be doing all right. The only issue is she can enhance AD carry, and she scales well because of it. And it's very difficult to kill because she's got the shield. Shield heals. There's Leona. Leona can be a bit rough, you know. Leona engage. If you get stunned, you're stunned forever and you die. There are some maneuvers you can deal with. Like, I have an example of outplaying this. Is as soon as she lands E, you have like a minor timer before E completes and she can get Q off, that you can EW on their AD carry. Like, not even AD carry, but like in front of their AD carry, because he's bound to follow up as soon as she lands. So you can predict Lucian dashes like that and easily punish. So you negate the trade, even when it's very often. So this is a decent matchup unless you get horribly outroamed. So we're going to keep her at the highest of C, I think. We have Maokai. Not a difficult champion. Engage is not that good. Flash engage is alright. The only issue is he covers the brushes. That's the only issue he poses. Rel is fairly easy. She's a weaker Leona for you. Taric is fairly easy. He should be very low. You have Zillion. Only negative side is like ulting teammates. Other ways, like you beat him for free. Sona is just a little bit annoying due to movement speed and perma heal, but you beat her. And you have Morgana, which as long as you dodge the Q, you're totally fine. And then you have two Stomp matchups, which is Galio and Alistar. You pray that they draft them because it's free win for you. You will 100 to 0 them, even though they're tanks. Like nothing will really help them. Alistar ult you completely negate with your ult. And yeah, it's just crushing in this case. Brand? Okay, we can add Brand. Brand, where would he be? He outranged Brand. That's the issue of Brand, right? You will outrange him, so he won't be much of a problem. So you're just poking until he's like very low, and then you can try to convert into kill. So shouldn't really do too much. Let's grab Swain. You guys are mentioning Swain. Yeah, Swain falls off a cliff. He has to get ahead. He has to have a cheesy setup. So if we're talking about an average Swain you're going to meet, is going to be bad. You will have advantage. As long as you dodge the E, you're winning. Hard winning. Swain is only nasty in a bunch of like rough cases. Renata, I'm not too comfortable like adding, because I don't fucking know what she does. I played one game against her yesterday and we won. But I don't know exactly like how strong she is. I'm going to put Shaco in as well. Box is the only annoying thing. Otherwise, you're winning. You can even get vision when you hit him with Q. You know where he's gonna teleport. I'm gonna add Zyra. Zyra can be a bit nasty. We're gonna put her at B tier. She can block your Qs with the plants. Plants have pretty high range, so you can't really hard engage her. She's gonna ult, so it's kind of rough. AP Jarvan support? No, nobody plays it. Nobody plays it. Stop. What did you say, Nico? Nico is just difficult to kill due to invisibility and movement speed. Otherwise, you beat her, so she's all right. Again, like all these matchups are just fine. Oh, Veigar. Did we forget Veigar? Yeah, Veigar is here. You want that matchup. You definitely want Veigar. He's all right. He's alright, as long as you don't get stunned, you're fine. Veigar can only be nasty if they have a massive AD carry disparity or jungle disparity and just like completely destroy you. He's a good setup, but direct matchup, you're fine. Shen support, very rare, but again, like he's here, he's hit or miss. I don't know if there's anything else. I think that's about it. So this is the updated support difficulty graph. We have the support AD carry synergy graph. So those are two ultimate Vel'Koz tier list, chat. And now we're getting into the mid lane difficulty graph, which is, well, if you're here for support, you can leave. Not many people play mid lane. This is also taken from my Patreon. The mid lane difficulty. I keep them fairly regularly updated, so we're gonna update this one now together, and we're just gonna combine them all into one, you know. So yeah, mid lane doesn't really change much because Vel'Koz mid lane is almost always the same. Although I did invent a new strategy, which is the speedy boy, but we're just gonna go off the overall basis because majority of the player base of Vel'Koz play support, and a majority of the mid laners, who are like tiny fraction, played regular. They don't play the speedy boy, which I invented, which is the best way to play mid, but it's fairly difficult to execute. So we're gonna be just going off what regular Vel'Koz will experience, you know, and as such, in 1v1 these matchups, like Irelia is almost always losing unless she's really bad. Yasuo is one of the worst ones in 1v1. The only issue is Yasuo syndrome. They tend to lack brain. Pyke is rough, you will outroam you. Kiana can 100 to 0, you level 2. Akali is unkillable if she knows what she's doing. Echo is unkillable, but he can't really brute force kill you. That's alright. Katarina, even if you beat in 1v1, she can roam, get a double kill, and win the game anyway. She just takes 2 kills and the game is over. Those are absolutely horrible S tiers. Tryndamere literally unkillable and scales phenomenally. He's stronger than you from level 2 and on forever. So these are just rough matchups. Okay, now we got Ahri. Ahri is A tier, especially because it's new Ahri. She does a bit better, you know. Diana would put a bit lower. She's not quite superb, as most of what she does is predictable. The only issue is like the current Diana Yasuo synergy and all that, but it's mostly Diana jungle now. Okay, Fizz A tier, but not super difficult. You can definitely deal with Fizz. Zhonya's counters him, Stopwatch counters him. Why not Banshees is because he most likely will build the Proto Belt or Rocket Belt and counter your Banshees, so you want to negate his ult, and you do that with Stopwatch. He's only potent if he gets early ahead due to his jungler, then you just don't get to play. Pantheon is horrible in a 1v1. You will never beat Pantheon in a 1v1 if you play smart. But he's not. He falls off. He's not that superb. You outrange him, so there's some merit there. LeBlanc is not as strong as she used to be. She mostly plays off of junglers now. Xerath is the classic Vel'Koz counter. He beats you in almost every stage of the game. You have minor window to kill him post 6, and that's where you try to. Zed is fine. You can deal with Zed. He's mostly jungle now. As long as you don't give him kills, you're totally fine. Stopwatch is priority. If they have AD jungler, it's not even terrible to buy Seeker's Arm Guard first item, and then you're just chilling. And we have Jonei. You can't really play against Jonei. He beats you from level 2 and on forever. Scales superbly. Doesn't require resources, mana, nothing. He perma farms. He will out farm your late game. He will side lane. He's probably the best here, if not here. He could actually be here. Yone will shred you. Hard to punish him. Absolutely hard to punish him. And yeah. Yeah, and he does threefold damage. True damage, magic damage, AD. So like versus Zed Seekers doesn't work, you know. You have to have stasis and ult. You have to stasis his ult. And now we have some weird stuff. You have stuff like Akshan, which is alright. He's the best of the B tier. He could even be A tier right now. Although he got some nerfs. I'll put him as A tier just because even if you beat him, he's still gonna be very nasty. Side lane is he's gonna revive his teammates, which is kind of like overpowered. So we're definitely gonna put him there. You have this guy, which is not that strong. He's kind of like a mid situation. It's all about pushing and roaming with Aurelion. You can avoid that. Like, it's not terrible, honestly. You should kill him in a 1v1, but he's better at roaming, so he's just that constant struggle, mostly equal. Azir is probably one of the worst ones in B tier, because a good Azir will do well against Vel'Koz early game, but then again you can do corrupting and time warp tonic and cookies and negate his early poke, and then mid game you have very good damage spike over him because he needs to late game. He needs to get to late game to do substantial damage. Heimer, believe it or not, is not an easy matchup, not a free matchup for sure, because he can perma push without any brain, and his very underrated abilities, he gets shit ton of movement speed around his turrets, so he's nearly impossible to punish. You have to be very, very creative to punish him, so that's kind of rough. Jace should be like bottom of the B tier. You can definitely kill Jace. Jace is a good matchup for you. Only like a really, really good Jace players will know how to play this. He does have some spikes over you, like level 1 he has 2 abilities while you have only 1. And then level 3 he has 6 abilities while you have only 3. So he's going to try to cheese you early with Ignite, all in engage. It can be a bit finicky early game, but if you get out of it, you're fine. Then again, he will scale again all right in late game, and his poke is good. So he's stable pick, but you should beat him. Kassadin, I don't think Kassadin right now is that good. I've beaten basically every single one in this season, and we're going to put him on C tier. We're going to update that slightly, because Kassadins aren't doing that well this season. The game is too fast. They don't really get to scale. They get punished by so many things, and because his late game is not as likely, we're going to put him a C tier, even though he's same in the lane, because you're winning lane. Like, you're supposed to be beating him until level 11. Level 6 for sure. Until level 11 you can. We got Kayle. Kayle can be rough. A good Kayle will scale and go side lane and be very difficult to kill. The only difficulty for Kayle is her ult cooldown is huge early game. So if you can track it, it's very, very huge. It's like 3 minutes or something. So if you can trade ult for ult, you have a window to kill her when your ult comes up. So that's the window you're playing for. Lux is fairly easy to punish. You can definitely punish Lux. She goes here. But this guy, Orianna, nobody plays Orianna. She takes too long to play. She's very old school champion. With a heal, you just beat her mid game easily. She takes too long to get running. Syndra with a cleanse, you're perfectly safe, depending on the jungler as well. You just have to avoid the stun. That's like the thing. If you get stunned, you're 100 to 0, but you can avoid that or get cleanse. And then it's flexible versus Syndra, which is good because you can either go Banshees or Zhonya's. Like, you can Zhonya's her ult if their team is full AD plus Syndra. You can go Zhonya's better than Banshees, you know. Rumble's alright. He can be nasty because he pushes all the time. And his shield is like 200 rank 1, which is fucking horrible. Difficult to poke him, but you're fine. If he makes one mistake, you can kill him in a huge punish. Victor should be a lot higher now. Because the items in this season for sure suit Victor. He's pretty good. We might even put him here, actually. Victor is extremely difficult to punish. He has movement speed. He can interrupt your ult. He can wave clear with 1E. And even if you kill him, it doesn't matter. He will just wave clear anyway. So you don't really punish him. Silas is alright matchup in a 1v1. You should be doing well here and beating him. Same for Talon. Talon in mid lane. He has one cheese opportunity. Why is B tier not C tier? Is because he can roam and get fed off your team. Vlad doesn't do much. You should be doing well here. Not difficult to play matchup. The only thing you have to watch out is like E flash, RQ, ignite stuff. You know. Woo, man. Okay. Bro. We're speedrunning this stuff. We got eight trucks right now. Very rare in mid lane, but yeah, as long as you don't get hit by his like WQ combo and you get like locked into his third Q, you should be fine in winning this. You can get heal reduction easily. It's all right. Anivia, slightly winning matchup for you. Fairly decent. You can out pressure, out roam her. Difficult to kill her twice back to back because you run out of damage. She can interrupt you with Q and W. Other than that, fine. Any fairly easy matchup. Although she has a shield with movement speed as well. But yeah, as long as you don't get 100 to 0, you're totally fine. We have Chorky, winning matchup for you. He takes a bit long to scale, so you can punish him in the meantime. You can even run exhaust, and every time he goes in, just exhaust him and trade him back. It's fairly easy. Karthus, not terrible in 1v1. He has global impact, though. That's an issue. Malzahar is pretty weak. The only reason he's about C tier is because he can flash ult you, and there's no counterplay to that, and he will die to his jungler. Otherwise, you beat him like in lane easily. Lissandra is pretty much the same playstyle like Malzahar. So we have Ryze, which is winning, but a good Ryze will go side lane later on and scale and be stronger than you eventually. So you have to make sure to punish him. It has to count, right? Like the early game, it has to count. You have to beat him early while he's weak. TF, again, same like Aurelion Sol, you will always be winning. He's less finicky though than Aurelion. He will always be winning 1v1, but he can roam. So, who does what better? 1v1 has priority in solo queue, obviously. So, you have Galio. The only issue is a gank setup, but yeah, let's put Galio here in D tier. You should be winning this easily. Vex, you should be winning. As long as you avoid fear, make sure you track her fear. You have much better push. You can play brainedly W spam and you're still winning lane. That's basically all there. We got Brand outranged horribly. Now he's not quite terrible with a new E, but yeah, let's put him here. He's not terrible right now, I guess, but he should be winning. Cassio is a counter matchup. If you run heal, she can't ever chain like E's, because if you get queued without summoners, she's gonna run you down and kill you. But if you have heal, you can heal and Q, and then you're just fine. So that's totally cool. Vygar is winning matchup in a 1v1. He will never beat you in a 1v1. Fairly easy. You have better damage, you have better range, everything. What are you guys saying? Morgana, Karma. Karma is A tier. She's a horrible mid laner to deal with. Extremely useful to the team. Difficult to kill. Nearly impossible to kill. What else are we missing for mid lane? Let's do the Kai'Sa, the new Kai'Sa. She scales well. She's fairly safe with the movement speed, but she would be in B tier. You can easily kill her level 6 as long as she has no stacks, and you have to be clean with that. Talia. Yeah, you definitely outrange her. As long as you avoid knock-up, you're totally fine. You have better push, you have better everything. In fact, she can be there. Talia is alright. Seraphine not very played mid lane that much these days, so let's just put her B tier. Morgana? Nobody plays Morgana. But whatever happens in low Velo, could be that it happens. You'll always win 1v1. Stun avoidable, so let's put her in C tier. We have Zilean. Zilean in mid lane is not that easy to punish. So we're gonna put him in perfectly middle B tier, because it just depends on his team. Zilean's value is that of his highest valuable teammate. That's it. Like, you should be winning 1v1, but it's hard to punish because he will ult himself. So yeah, other than that, you're fine. We have something like Tristana. It's not that easy to punish her early. It can be nasty. Her jump is a bit unpredictable. Swain mid laner. Swain is shit mid lane. You beat that matchup. You outrange him, avoid E, you're winning hard. Don't know if you missed anything. Nico mid lane is B tier. You avoid E, you're hard winning. Oh, is that it? I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else. So that is an updated mid lane tier list. I haven't seen Lucian in such a long time. People stopped playing in mid lane completely. But where is he? B tier. He used to be stronger. GP's free. GP's free, you punish that. So yeah, that's about it for the mid lane difficulty graph. We have support difficulty graph and support synergy graph, and now we have all of them updated for 12.5 patch notes. This will all be on YouTube. More tier lists and like specifically how to play certain matchups in mid lane spreadsheet and all that is on Patreon, and eventually updated lists of this. But yeah, we have now every single VELKOZ tier list you will need. So know when to draft, with what to draft, what to ask from your teammates to draft, what to avoid, you know. I don't know. If you guys have any specific questions on how to deal with stuff and all that, you can post them here or in the comments or whatever. We'll try to do it together.
You make me